Bowie the lobster has stopped eating. This thing has turned out to be one of the most stressful pets you can imagine. Not only is it the rarest lobster on the planet, but it is a pet shared by millions of people. Talked to Ben over at the Oceanarium, and he said sometimes lobsters can be fussy and picky about what they eat. They won't eat dead bait, and they'll only eat live creatures. We're gonna go down to the cottages, dig through some seaweed, and hopefully find some green crabs. We gotta get the camera.
Why?
We're gonna catch some crabs or what?
Someone help!
I've never tried green crab hunting in the winter. I kind of think that they probably stay below the low water mark in the winter, so that way they never are exposed to the cold air. In the summertime, when the tide goes out, a lot of green crabs stay on land and hide in the seaweed. Hopefully they are extremely abundant when the temperature is 27 degrees. If you're new, these cottages are actually a property that we purchased last winter. We fixed them up. There's 5, and they were right on the ocean, so we rent them out. They're closed for the winter. We just closed them up, but in the spring they will be open again. You guys can come down and stay right here with us. You can get lobsters off of us, cook them right here on the beach with the beautiful view of Prospect Harbor. Hey, hey, you cheater! I thought we were gonna race. All right, we're gonna find some stuff for Bowie.
Yeah.
Let's look in this seaweed. We're gonna try to find some crabs.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's some in here. Hopefully they're not all out in the ocean.
This is a nice ocean.
This is a nice ocean.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not seeing any, Jake. You found a shell? Go put it in the bucket. There are no green crabs. In the summertime, you can find them everywhere. There's plenty of sea fleas. So hopefully Bowie will eat the fish. You think Bowie's gonna eat the fish?
I don't know.
We're gonna go try?
Yeah. Yeah. So we tried again to give Bowie a piece of herring, but he doesn't seem to have any interest in it. Bowie loved the herring that we gave him on day 2, so I'm not sure what is going on. Bowie also seems much less active than he was the first few days, which was stressing me out, so I called Ben. Ben came over from the Oceanarium and tested everything we could possibly test, and the tank was testing perfectly. Ben said Bowie is either not adapting well to the new environment, which is common for some lobsters, or Bowie is getting ready to shed. Either one is not good news. He taught me shedding is a very stressful process for lobsters, and a lot of lobsters don't survive shedding. Shedding is the leading cause of lobster mortality. If Bowie's condition does not improve, we might end up having to release Bowie back into the wild earlier than planned. I was hoping to hold it through the winter, but if he's not going to be able to thrive in the tank, we're not going to try to hold him. I'm going to monitor him very closely for the next few hours, and I'll be sure to keep you updated. Alright, this is a video I was hoping I would not be making till spring, but unfortunately this is the final part of the Bowie the Lobster series. Bowie is one of the rarest lobsters in the world. It is half blue, half orange, half male, half female. After sharing Bowie on social media, it quickly became a viral sensation, and it was voted that we keep Bowie as a pet to watch it and see if it was capable of reproducing without the help of another lobster. So we partnered with the Bar Harbor Oceanarium. They not only donated this tank to Bowie, but came over and helped us set it up. They taught us everything we needed to know to give Bowie its best chance at adapting to his new environment. We learned that some lobsters adapt better to these new environments than others, and given how unique of a lobster Bowie is, there was a question from the beginning of how durable he was. Also, where they are in their shed cycle can heavily impact their success in adapting to these new homes. The first few days in the tank, Bowie was thriving, seemed to be doing great. Rearranged all the sand in the tank, was exploring, relaxing, eating. On the second day, we actually got to feed Bowie a piece of herring, and it was fascinating to watch him eat. Fast forward a few days, countless water tests and monitoring, I noticed Bowie was acting a little less active, kind of docile. And let me tell you, this was the most stressful pet I have ever had. It was like having your first kid all over again. Every time it did something at all out of the ordinary, I was freaking out. Not only is this the rarest pet on the planet, but it's also a pet that's shared by millions, so no pressure on me for keeping it alive. I didn't know if Bowie being less active was a red flag or not, so I immediately got a hold of Ben at the Oceanarium. He came right over and did every test under the sun. Everything in the tank was testing perfectly, so I decided to monitor Bowie very closely for the following hours, and unfortunately, he was becoming more docile. He wasn't getting better. Ben has a ton of experience with lobsters in aquariums and came to the conclusion that Bowie was either trying to shed, getting ready to shed, or he was just simply not adapting to the new environment well, which is common for some lobsters. As much as I would love to keep him in the tank and hope for a strong recovery, I decided that the best move was to release him back into the wild while he still had strength to make a recovery, or shed if that's what he's trying to do. Gave Bowie a small notch with hopes he will be protected from future harvest, and said goodbye. Myself and a lot of friends fishing the area Bowie was released. Maybe with some luck we'll see Bowie the Lobster again someday. Long live Bowie the Lobster.